On this podcast, we spend our time talking to people who run real estate portals around the world. We've had so many of these great conversations now, and we understand what it is that these people are dealing with, the challenges that they face. And that's why we only have super relevant sponsors like our sponsor for today, PropTex, who are absolutely at the forefront of using AI to make real estate portal websites more engaging, which is one of the things we have consistently heard is a challenge. If you want to make your real estate portal website more engaging, head to proptex with 2x's.com or hit the guys up on LinkedIn and say that we sent you. Hello and welcome to the PPW podcast, bringing you news, views and interviews from the world of real estate marketplaces. Joined for today's episode by Simon Baker. How are you, Simon, and where are you?
I'm in Madrid, but I think I'm in the room of red at this point in time. So I'm actually going to twist around this way and have the room of white. I just realized that was not a good background. It was getting ridiculous. Right,
Okay, fair enough. While you're doing that,
let me
I'll
go back
introduce...
this way. Here we go. There we go. You just got the Simon around. Perfect.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll introduce today's guest, József Keleti from Ingatlan in Hungary. How are you doing, József? And did I pronounce your name correctly?
Pretty well, actually. Congratulations, Edmund. Thanks. Greetings to everyone.
Okay. So Engatlin, you're a big market leader in Hungary, but perhaps not everybody listening to this knows that much about the Hungarian market, about Engatlin, about the history. Why don't you quickly start by telling us, firstly, about the Hungarian market? What kind of characteristics are there? What is the TAM for portals? What are agent commissions like? What is FSBO like? Give us a flavor of what the market is like in Hungary.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the possibility. I'm really happy to be here. So about the market, actually Ingatlan.com is like 26 years old, or we can say it was really when coming from offline to online. So it was in the right time, in the right moment, with the right focus actually. So it's really, I'm really proud that this company is really focused to deliver the real needs of the customers. So delivering leads, reaching the searchers and delivering a lot of leads. About the market, it's actually a non-exclusive market. So it's maybe this is one characteristic that I see have a big differentiator between markets. So of course there are the agents are really happy to have exclusive contracts, but the market itself is non-exclusive usually. We have a strong FSBO leg. Actually, more than I think close to 15 years ago we started. So it was started quite early. Of course, as in every country, agents were not happy with this, but we had a very clear message that if you are not doing it, somebody will do it. So it's not like you can avoid this. And actually, our FSBO market is already coming to 30-40% of the revenue already. So it's quite significant with the private listings and the advertisements. It's a freemium model actually, so you can list your property free of charge without pictures. But if you want to add pictures and photos and some extras, then you have to pay. And of course, we have the biggest part of the market is from real estate brokerages. The market is there are around 8,000 agents grouped in around 4,000 offices. So there are some bigger franchise and bigger networks, and there are many small independent players on the market. So this is what is interesting. And let me ask what else to talk. I can talk a lot about the market.
That's interesting. The FSBO. Sorry, go on, Simon.
I was going to have a question. There's a lot of questions about Engatlin that we should go down, but I have one question. How does United Solutions relate to Engatlin?
Oh yeah,
is that the holding company?
United Platforms.
United Platforms.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I'm leading United Platforms and still directly Ingatlan.com. In 2023, we have been acquiring Adevinta Hungarian operations. And with this one, we have been acquiring also the leading car portal and also the leading horizontal. Actually, we are out from the horizontal because of competition law issues, but we are still keeping the auto, the leading car portal. We have a money HU, which is about mortgage loans. And we have also a display sales house, which is selling also display or banners on our sites, and also for some external customers. And we didn't want to be Ingatlan.com group because it's for the employees of the other brands are not so nice. So this is why we had the new umbrella brand, and this is United Platforms. It's rather towards the employees and towards the employee market. On the market, we are known as Ingatlan.com, Használtautó.hu. So with the brands we are using towards the market, but internally we are United Platforms. This is the collection of our brands.
Okay, so United Platforms, Engatlin, market leader in real estate. You've got the cars, you've got mortgages, you've got a advertising business.
Yes, exactly.
Let's come back to those and lessons learned cross platforms later, because I think that's a super interesting topic to explore, whether there's anything you can learn from cars and apply it to real estate and so on. But diving deep on Engatlin itself, market leader, when you say there's 8,000, so do you service the agent or the office?
Both, actually. So there are different services that we are contracting by default with the agencies, but there are different services that also the agents are buying directly. So, for example, we are running a credit system. So we are pretty simple in if you want to have your listing going on the top of the page. So it's like Google, but not with money, but with credit. So you can really push more credits in order to be ahead of the competition. And this is in many cases the agency is buying, and there are different solutions where they say, okay, it's not my game anymore how much you spend on your advertisement. So we are providing direct services to the agents as well. And we have also a partnership program this verified partner program, and this is also rather provided to the agents themselves, so they can decide. Sometimes the agency is providing this them, sometimes they are buying this directly. So we are trying to do both, actually. Mainly the agencies, but there are different reasons when it makes sense to provide services to the agents as well.
And if I'm an agent or an agency and I want to get credits, is it purely just by buying, or do I get any credits from having higher quality advertisements? Photo floor plans, virtual tours. The more information I put onto the site, do I get credits as well, or is it just purely by buying them?
No, the credits are bought by them, and they are using this to compete in the order. So if you want to be one or two step further or up in the list, then you can use this credit. So they are buying those credits, and they can use this for the other services as well, actually.
And is it like Google? So it's an auction model. So in different suburbs, you need different credits.
Actually, it's an auction model as well, but the credit is the same. It's the market itself is deciding how competitive is this arena. So then it's a self organized way. Maybe in an internal district, it's a different way how you can be on the top of the list versus in suburb or maybe 300 kilometers from the cities. So it's really different, and this is why it's very good, because usually also the agencies are putting credits on the listings they believe they are good offers. Therefore, somebody is searching for a property, they are meeting the best offers usually, because you're not putting a lot of credits on advertisements where you don't feel it's really a market fit is good.
Okay.
So therefore, and they can use the credits also on some other solutions as well. So they can buy some other services, and that's a very good thinking about. Yeah, you asked virtual tools and some others.
Yeah, I always like the idea of credits versus real money, because then you get to play with. A credit doesn't have any sort of feeling to it. Whereas a real money, I can buy bread, milk, whatever. And so there's that disconnect. Roughly how much does a credit cost?
Actually, it's a very interesting story, because it's 2 forint is 1 credit. It's almost at the end of the day.
And what's that in say a euro?
400 forint is 1 euro around. So it's really cheap.
So credits, it's half a euro, half a cent, euro cent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So it's pretty cheap, and we had a learning on that, because it was past in the past it was much more expensive, and there was a game with this. Where is the best to put it, and we have been downgraded the value of the credit, and they started to work much better as cheaper it is. So it was very interesting when it was not 2 forint but 10 or 20 forint. It was the bigger decision to make further ones. So finally, we learned that as smaller it is, as closer to the forint finally, but still it has a virtual feeling of it's not forint but it's credit. It started to work well, and it was could really play. So you can even with 2 forints, so with 1 credit more, you can already be ahead of one. So it's with so small steps. There is an auction going on. So this is what we have been learning, that even customers like it better than if it would be much more expensive. So our partners had a feedback.
I'm gonna push a bit on this. And if I'm in the best suburb, okay, and I am bidding at the very top, how many credits do I need roughly? Is it 50, 100, 1,000?
Actually, I would say maybe even 1,000 a day.
1,000 credits a day, which is so I'm trying
You've
to
dug
compare.
your own hole here, Simon. You've dug yourself a mathematical hole.
I dug myself a massive hole. I think that's 50 euros. Is it 5 euros or 50 euros?
5
euros.
5 euro, yeah.
So 5 euros a day per listing.
Yeah, but it's really up to your decision. Because if it's a really good offer, maybe you can really sell it in 3 days. So it's really it's absolutely it's definitely true that if you are on top of the page, definitely you have much more views. So and it's really, we have a lot of statistics about this, how it works, how many pages do people check, and how the efficiency works. Of course, it's also the belief of the agents. Sometimes they want to compete with each other. They want to have a quicker sale. Sometimes they have time. So it's really giving them absolute freedom in even day-by-day decisions. Sometimes when they are active on Monday, they make a higher credit. So on Friday, they are just out already and they push it down. So it's really gives them absolute flexibility on how you want to market your real estate.
So if in a world where the user, the home searcher, is getting more and more control on the search process, maybe more filtering, maybe less generic search results and more targeted results, how does this impact your financial model?
It's very interesting. I've just checked yesterday because we are measuring the searches, and more than 50% of the searchers started just location. Yeah, actually, of course, I have to say that I would bet like 60% of the searchers are dreamers. They are just looking around, just checking what type of houses and homes and apartments are there. But it was really surprising to me. More than 50% is starting like, okay, I would like to have something in Budapest, this district, and let's see what we have. And what we see that the qualification process starts with location, and then understanding the pricing and all the needs they have, and then they start to use filters. But really, the advanced filter usage is around less than 5% of the users are really using more than 5, 6, or even 7 filters. So this is was there, but of course it's also dependent on the market characteristics. So if we have like even together with offices already and every real estate type, we have 200,000 listings. So if you have a 1 million, maybe that's a different game. But if you use already, so I always say if you use all your dream filters, usually you have zero.
Zero results.
Yeah,
yes.
because you say, okay, I want to have this from 100k euro, close to public transport, green, silent.
Yeah.
And if you're adding all this, finally, okay, 0. So you have to change something, or the price is different, or public transport versus being in the green is different way, or having one less room. So finally, it's an ongoing qualification process. So therefore, this is why it still works. And when you are trying to understand the district, based on with the discussion of many agents, it's very important what you see first. If you fell in love already with one type of home, so this is why they also like. And if you have a call with the agent already based on their existing or top of the page advertising, they can start already discussions, and they have even if it's a bigger agency, they have a lot of other opportunities as well. So that's also sometimes of a lead, even if not exactly this. Property will be sold, but it's a very good possibility to catch the lead and then start the discussion.
Okay, I'm interested here. So this business model to me sounds like, I'm not sure how new it is. I'm not sure when you introduced it, but I'm interested in do your competitors have a similar business model? And is it as easy for your competitors who are not the market leader to kind of implement or do things around this business model? So firstly, who are your competitors for people who don't know? What is their kind of market backing? Because I know you have one competitor with a big bank as a backer. And
Yes.
do they have the same model? You know, can they do the same things when it comes to monetization?
Yeah, what we have seen in the past, whoever came to the market, sorry to say, but copy pasted exactly what we have, the model itself. Probably because it's easier to explain the business model itself to the agents that is the same. So actually, they do the same. I think even I'm not sure, but even the credit price is the same, I guess. So what we see is that whoever is trying to come to the market are copy pasting currently the existing model and using the same business logics behind. Even the packages, the setup is pretty different, pretty the same. Actually, if you ask about the market, still in the second place, I would say still Jófogás, which is the marketplace of Adevinta. Their segment on real estate part is still pretty strong. This is why we
know. So now we know why you weren't allowed to buy it by the competition authorities if it's in second place.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Actually, maybe later I can tell you some interesting things about it, and they are rather in terms of visitors, sometimes they are second, sometimes they are third. In terms of inventory, the second one is a bank-owned portal. We started like 4 years ago, I guess. They have some name change in that, and they are, but they are with the same model on the market.
Okay. I think it's time to get on to what Simon mentioned at the beginning. You bought a car vertical, and you tried to buy the horizontal, but you bought the car vertical. Now, I was trying to think before we started recording of any real estate portals that have just gone and bought a car portal, and I can't think of any. Firstly, what was the logic behind buying it? And secondly, what have the headaches been? Because I'm sure there have been headaches. I'm sure we'll get onto the good things, but I want to talk headaches first.
Yeah, headaches. So maybe start with the why. Actually, when we have been thinking on where to grow on the Hungarian market, I would say mortgage is definitely a business, but we have to understand we are mainly digital business and not really an offline sales business. So actually, this is another part, but we have even sold our network of our agent, mortgage agent business. So we have kept just the online part actually. And we rather decided to be 25% owners of a very big network versus doing it our own. We are digital guys, digital business. So therefore, we have to understand where we are good at. And that was also thinking if to grow in the real estate space. In Hungary, there are not those huge CRM solutions in the real estate market. So there is there were not really big possibilities for us to go ahead. And we have also learned that if you buy something small, we can really make it loss making in a 1 year term because if you put all the central costs, so it's when a real entrepreneur is doing with full heart, waking up in 6, doing it at 8. If a company like we buy it, we put teams on that, and it's immediately the next day it's making losses. So there is a threshold that what we can really buy, and we have been thinking what to do. It was also, and actually very interestingly, we have been already trying to do our car portal ourselves. So attacking Adevinta car portal on our own, even with some people from the car portal founders, from the leading car portal founders, and it was absolutely unsuccessful. So we had to learn that those portals and those 25, 26-year-old brand names are so strong in the market that it's really, really a huge. So we were thinking like it would be nice to buy it on one day. And when Adevinta announced that they are open to sell their operations in Hungary, we were really very excited about this. And why is actually that if we define ourselves more like a tech company with all the advantages of having really good IT teams, product teams, we understood that we can have a lot of added value. And we take our expertise rather in listing, how to run the listing logic, how to have used this business model. And what we learned in the past already 2 years almost is that it works pretty well. So we have a lot of technology synergies, organizational synergies. And this is really helping us to really make a lot of value from this one. And you can ask, okay, what is the connection between these things? And the connection is that our aim is to really help people. This is most valuable assets you have is property and car, actually, and even the financing part is the most important for those ones. And we have mortgage business, but we also helping people to finance their car purchases. And actually, if we can build up a really good user profile, thanks to, if you have a child, you want to have a bigger car, you want to have a bigger home, you want to move, you have really, things are happening with you, and you want to have a new financing. And our aim is to, this is the most valuable assets we are around them, then we can really have a very valuable solution for those users. Definitely, the headache part is what we have seen, that this car portal has also very nice codes, as Ingatlan.com had, which means sometimes 20-year-old codes. And whatever you want to innovate, and maybe we'll talk about AI, so whatever you want to put on top of it, when the platform, the basics are like, every weekend, three IT guys are literally how to keep it running. Definitely, we are doing on the same way that we are investing a lot of money in order to rewrite the car portal as well. Actually, we did it with Ingatlan.com as well. So we invested heavy lot of money in the past 3 years in order to really rewrite the codes and really the architectural part as well. Because we believe whatever comes in the future, we have to have a really good stack. Because if you are building something on something shaky, it's not good. And we see a lot of benefits. So the biggest challenge was actually this one. And the other part was the culture, of course. We can talk about this. I don't know if it's interesting for you, but we were lucky. But Adevinta, so I was working also for like almost 20 years for a Swedish company. Adevinta was Norwegian. So the cultural fit was pretty okay. And this way we could really integrate the team pretty quick. So we have quite good experience on that.
I've got a couple of questions. One of the things that when you look at property portals around the world, they go from the advertising business and then try to get into mortgages, lead generation, or even their own mortgage broking businesses. There's a sort of a different spectrums. And funnily enough, if you look at something like the REA Group, when I was there, we did it, we closed it. They then did it again and closed it, and now they bought a business. Do you see much synergy between a property portal and your mortgage business, or are they two fundamentally different businesses with a little bit of crossover?
I think it's, if we take the journey itself, it's part of it. So we always offer, for like 10 years ago, we started to offer like, if you give your profile, we tell you how much loan you can have. So really, when you are searching already, maybe you are searching just for 100K euro properties, but hey, you could have 50K euro extra on top of it. So you could really buy other homes. So I think it's part of the journey to provide mortgage solutions. If you have to do it yourself, or you can have a partner on that, I think that's really up to the business decision. What we have been learning, that our partner, and where we have ownership, they have 500 agents, mortgage agents in the country. So that was something that we had to understand. We are not capable. This is not our business. We are not the best in that one. There are so strong players already on the market. It's better to have a cooperation with them and giving them the leads. So this way, we decided that we would like to part of this, but not 100% owned, but having rather a smaller part of a business. And together we can grow, and we see that we can get more value out of this cooperation. And definitely data is very important. We can collect a lot of data thanks to the mortgage part. People are giving us a lot of data to understand. We have pre-qualifications for the loans provided on the site, and this is very good from the customer perspective. They really want to have a secured transaction on one hand on the site, so we are helping them in this stage. And definitely, if you can earn also some money on the mortgage part, that's an extra. But it's I would say, I didn't really calculate, but it's between around 5%, 5 to 10% of the, between 5 and 10% year by year, what we have from this segment. So it's not significant compared to the core business.
Okay. Have you been able to running a cars, mortgage, and real estate business? have you been able to learn lessons to accelerate one of the others? So from cars to real estate, or real estate to cars, or whatever. Are there any lessons that have helped accelerate, or is it just dealing with spaghetti code and headaches?
Yeah, actually, we have a few, but definitely to put together the users, it's a big task for us. To really having one SSO when you log in, you are already logged into all the sites, and we can learn a lot about what you do. So actually, it's still a way ahead of us, but it's a marketing automation system. We can already try to are able to track the users, what they are doing here and there. Of course, there are some legal issues because still it's two different companies, so we have to handle all the data protection and the data law issues. But the idea is definitely this on the longer term. Currently, we are not yet there to make it professionally, I would say. But the idea is definitely to have the what we say is the best next offer for you. So we would like to really understand you, and if maybe it's a new property, maybe it's an investment for you, investing into a real estate portal, or maybe it's a bigger car because your car is 15 years old, so you're spending more in the garage, and you're maybe with some loan you could really jump into a newer car and save a lot on that, or your child is coming. So this is the vision we have. Understanding the user, and then maybe AI, maybe some other solutions. I'm a big fan of good to great, so the technology itself is just worth something if I can solve a problem with it. So understand those problems, and whatever solution we can put behind this, solve all these problems. And it's not always real estate is the next best thing for someone. And definitely there are some other ways as well. If you are moving to somewhere, it occurs a lot of other problems. You need to have furnitures, you need to renovate, but we are not yet there. It's just in our visions.
You touched on AI for a second there. How do you think about AI, its applications to your business? What are you doing today, and where do you think it goes?
Yeah, I actually, when all this started, I've been really excited about this. So even when I think after the first version of ChatGPT, we made a hackathon already, all the team members playing with this, what we can do with it. But actually, there has been quite a lot of good ideas what we could do with it. But finally, all the quality. So we were not brave enough to put it to the market because still there was a lot of hallucination, as we know. And still we are learning a lot, and we are testing, and we have quite a few solutions already helping, for example, agents. But we are not really in the first line, I would say. And we see three layers in AI. One is internal efficiency. It's definitely very important. So we are focusing on this one because if internally our teammates, the programmers, the customer service, the marketing teams are using all these language models, they get familiar with it. And when you use it, you start to have more and more ideas how you could help also the market with those solutions. And then the second place is that we have to think in a system, in a structured way, because if we make satellite AI solutions and everybody is providing all our data to these different satellite solutions, we have to have some data governance also. So we are also working how our data backbone can be linked to this, and how to create a structure the way that one data feed is just going in one time, not like in every Excel sheet, different sheets are running all around the company. And the third one is definitely solutions towards the market. Here we have tested a lot of solutions so far, and we see what we have been learning in the past 1 year, that the price of the solutions are going down and the quality is going up. And definitely it's a business decision as well, because we have been falling in love with a few solutions, but we have counted if only 10% of our users are using it, how much it costs, and then we were like, okay, we wait a bit. So we are really in an investigation phase. And frankly speaking, I'm listening to your podcasts or the other players who is doing what. We are testing the big ones, what they are doing, what they are stopping to do, because we see sometimes they start something and then somehow it disappears on their pace. So then we think, okay, this is something, there is something behind this. But I guess if we have the right foundations for this, in the next years, AI will have a lot of solutions that are really helping all the agents work. And this is where actually, when we have asked agents, they would like to have a lot of assistance help. So they like to deal with the people, and there is a lot of administration, and even with putting the advertisement on our side, making auctions there. So we see a lot of advantage here. And definitely, photo manipulation is definitely a very interesting arena. Actually, agents started to do already, and now there is a push on us, like we should identify which ones are not real pictures. So it's we are just funny with this one, like we are. So the market is paying AIs 2 times to manipulate and then understand what is not real. But on the other side, actually, we are using it was maybe not called AI in our moderations tools are using AI type of solutions 8-10 is before to see what our rules are not allowing. So we are I would say scratching the surface, and we are really very, very open to see who is doing what, which market leader is doing what, is there any business model that we should apply, and our most important things to really be really ready for it in databases with all the architecture. Whenever it comes, we can really put quickly on top of it, whatever happens.
Yeah, I think when you look at AI and its applications for classified businesses, real estate, cars, doesn't matter. The most obvious first choice use of it is, for me, helping the advertiser have a better advertisement, because they're probably not good writers of descriptions. So, upload photos, I'll create a description for you based on what I see in the photos. Oh, I can help you enhance the photos. I can use tools like prop text to do different presentations. It's a horrible interior. The furniture is like 50 years old. Let's get rid of that and put something modern in there just to show what the house could look like, for example. So you're helping them solve a problem. Now, the good news is you've already got your tokens, your credits, right? You could charge them 2 credits, 3 credits, 5 credits to do an update, to do a manipulation, to do auto text writing, to do anything really to help them have a better advertisement. Okay, which is what that's probably where I'd start. I think the second thing I would then of course they're happier. Okay, because they're, oh my God, I'm getting better engagement, better leads. I would hope. Then the second thing I do is my internal tools. How do I help my AI tools to help my salespeople to know which of my customers I should be selling more credits to or selling different upgrades to. Helping manage the team, answering inbound calls, inbound inquiries, just make myself more efficient and effective as an organization. I think the third level is then the consumer coming in, because as you said, 50% are just going suburb search. Right? So they're not going, well, I've got this, ChatGPT like query I need answered. We all think they are, but they're not today. They will eventually. We're just in this evolutionary process around it. And I think then the interesting question around that is, will they find your listings through some sort of AI type, free-form search on your site? Or will it be on some sort of agentic search like a Manus or a Perplexity and that'll then just find the right listings, and then making sure your listings are the ones being presented? That's an interesting challenge. I've been doing a lot of work with a guy in London called Malcolm McCallion, and we've been really thinking about how best should a portal or an agency present their listings so that the AI search engines, rather than the Googles, find the listings. So when I type in suburb, my dream suburb, the one you said, 100,000, green, etc. How can I return results? Okay, and that those results are coming from Engatlin and not coming directly from the agent. So I'd be thinking about how to solve that problem. Otherwise, you'll eventually be gone. Someone will go around you, and you'll become, the AI itself becomes the marketplace, and you can have a lot of credits, but that means nothing in that outcome.
Yeah,
So
absolutely right. Of course, in order to be good in those searches, you have to have a good structured data. So it's again,
Yes.
I think we have to work a lot behind the scenes in order to be able to fill those needs. But you're right; it's absolutely ahead of us, and we have to have really open eyes on that, and not just sit and be.
But how do you do that when you've got all this spaghetti stuff that you've inherited, 25-year-old code that is, creating a few headaches. Oh, and by the way, it's not just 25-year-old code in Engatlin, it's 25-year-old code on car site and probably old code on the mortgage site.
Yeah, we are in a lucky situation because currently, as I mentioned, in 3 years from now, we have rewritten Ingatlan.com code. So now it's really on the best and most modern stack, industry standards, I would say. From this one headache off. Still with the car portal, we have some headaches, but we are working heavily, and we have a lot of synergies actually. So on the other side, maybe if I may touch this part, but there are a lot of components that you can reuse. Gallery, like when you scroll the photos, car or property is the same.
Yeah.
A lot of same building blocks you can reuse the same way. So rewriting a car portal from our side will be, I think, half of the time, because we can reuse a lot of elements already that we have been using. So this is why we see a lot of synergies in this one, that we have been doing it once and now we can do it much quicker. So hopefully all the headaches will be over pretty soon. This part, and then really we can be really open for the AI. I feel that AI is already like every day. If you would tick the box how much time we pronounce on meetings, mention it on meetings, it would really boom. So definitely we are continuously talking about it, maybe talking more than doing sometimes, I feel. But on the other side, as a market leader, we really would like to go on with solutions, because we have seen solutions which was too quick on the market, and then you are disappointing people. This doesn't work. It makes stupid things, and then you lose the credibility or the trust. Like, okay, this AI solution is not good. So we are really trying to find when we feel ourselves as well, and our customers, agents, that it works well, and they have the trust in it, that this is something already 80-90% good already, not like, okay, 1 out of 5 cases it works, 4 is not okay, I just let it go. We have been doing so mistakes already in the past, launching a product, it was not market fit, and until we figured it out, it's good, people were like, okay, I know you made this, but it was a crap, I don't use it anymore. So this is also a way we are trying to work on this behind the scenes.
I want to bring you up on an answer that you gave 5 minutes ago, because you gave a really good answer to a question. You said we weren't brave enough when talking about implementing certain AI things. Now, I have a bit of a theory. I've looked through all the portals in the world to see which of them have AI search, and it's not very many. And there's obvious reasons for that. You also said another sentence which kind of goes back to a theory that I have that I can't prove, which was, we look at what other people are doing and, we pay attention to that. I'm really interested, like, how much energy and effort goes into looking at other real estate portals around the world and what they're doing. Because my kind of pet theory that I can't prove is that real estate portals, more than just about any other industry that I can think of, have more to learn from their peers in other countries, and their peers in other countries aren't competitors. It's an interesting subject that I can't really prove without talking to hundreds and hundreds of people like yourself. So how much time and energy and effort goes into looking at what other people are doing and then basing decisions on, has so-and-so got AI search or not? Is so-and-so doing this, doing that?
Mm-hmm. We have I wouldn't say a team, but person who is focusing on this one, definitely understanding what's going on in international markets, analyzing those solutions, understanding AI solutions. We also, thanks to being part of the car portal industry as well, trying to understand what's going there, what are the solutions that are helping us. So definitely it's a lot of efforts, but it's interesting. There are team members who love to do this because they are really enjoyed. Everybody would like to have a lot of innovation. We always have to balance this, like, okay, innovation, what has a ROI, and not only in money, but also in customer confidence as well at the end of the day. So yeah, I truly believe, and this is why I love what you all do, that it's really good to learn. We are a local company owned by private people. So therefore, our connection to the world is through other portals and through other players around the world, and that's really, really important for us to learn from them. And as you say, sometimes even the solutions are not coming from your own industry, but you have to check some other industries who are a bit more brave, more competitive in some other ways, and see what happens there. But actually, back to the search, for example, we had also had to understand, okay, for on a computer, I'm really happy to type and chat with the Chat GPT, but 70% in real estate, in car, it's actually 80% is coming from mobile devices, the traffic. So if we talk about this on a mobile, sometimes it's using mobile for chatting really, really well. But maybe it will be a jump and you will talk rather, we rather talk to your phone, like what type of real estate you would like to search. We are waiting a bit. But if you are just on the public transport, maybe you're not so happy to talk to your phone. So there are so many questions we have to understand. But for example, as I mentioned, if most of the searchers are using maximum 5 filters, even on a mobile, like tick the box, sell, tick, price, tick, 3 rooms, tick, and search. And if you have to type this, maybe it's not yet there that it makes my life easier, especially on a mobile device. So we have to understand all of these things where it goes, and definitely there are different age groups. So I don't know where to put myself, but probably I'm not 20 years for sure, 20-year-old, but definitely who are searching on our sites are rather 40. We measure these 40, 50-year-old guys, and women's actually. Firstly, women's are visiting our site most than men, and what they like, how they search, what they use is not yet there. Like a new generation, they will be tomorrow's searchers, but we have to understand how quickly it evolves and how we can react on that.
Yeah. So Ed, just a couple of comments. One is, I think more and more portals and other real estate prop tech businesses are looking cross border, not necessarily for acquisitions or even market entry, just to learn. I mean, I'm actually going somewhere on Sunday to help set up to actually do some meetings to help someone from one country into another country, just to meet people. Okay, so that's occurring more and more, just because they want to understand how people do things. And then secondly, what I've found interesting is I'm doing a lot of work with my 23-year-old son, and how they communicate, how they use technology is quite different. Not only the language they use, everything's abbreviated, everything's short to the point. They just hang up on you and so on. They don't actually say goodbye, right? But how they interact with the technology is very different to how we would access the technology. And I think part of the challenge for anyone who's building these sites is you tend to get into the mindset that you're personally comfortable with. So if you have a product manager who's 50, it's going to be, I'll call it old school internet. So it's not old, but it's just old school internet and how they interact. And you're very comfortable with filters and suburbs and so on. And yes, that's an attractive audience that you're talking to because they're the ones with money who may be, having a third kid or they're downsizing, kids are going to university or whatever. But you've also then got to think about, well, how does a 22-year-old or 23-year-old in my son's case, renter engage with your platform? It's totally different. Okay.
And absolutely. Actually, and you are touching really an interesting point, the rental market, where actually you are right. The younger generation is more active there, for example. And we have been measuring that, like when you're buying a home, the most preferred way of contacting is still picking up the phone and talk. Versus there is a lot of young people who don't like to talk. They are just using the chats. They want to have text messages, and even the agents who are not so much familiar with chatting all the time, actually, they have to do it because they don't want to talk. They just ask chat. They want to have prompt answers. And that's also maybe one area where I see AI may have a solution when it's really helping you until you are out with someone showing the property, and it really gives you the answers in the right time, in the right way, qualifying you as different ways. So there are a lot of really interesting use cases. We would like to really be disciplined in choosing out the right ones. But you're absolutely right. And we are facing with this one, even myself, sometimes. We always have to remind, no, I'm not the typical person.
Yeah.
And even our product managers are the ones. And even in agents, we see real big differences between ages. How do they use our solutions, digital solutions as well? It's very big differences.
Yes.
This one. Some of them are really even not reading chat messages. If they want something, call me. So it's really interesting to see what you say in different market segments. So we need to be prepared for it.
Okay. I really liked what you said there. Some of your answers specifically about, what you can learn from other industries and other portals. Speaking of which, József, you will be on stage at Property Portal Watch in about, 5 weeks' time? And the idea is we all come together and we all learn from people like you who are actually, having to deal with these questions every single day, leading a business. So yeah, on that note, thank you very, very much for taking, 45 minutes from not leading the business, but talking to us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on stage at Property Portal Watch.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you guys and really looking forward to meet in Madrid.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Fascinating conversation, and congratulations on building a fantastic business and group with United Solutions. Platforms.
Thank you so much.
Platforms.
Yeah, United Platforms.
Yes.
Thank you so much.